Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the weekly webinar. Please make sure you're muted so that we can hear our speaker well, and especially as she demonstrates this very exciting app. And we are recording, so this will be available as soon as possible for you to watch another time and to share with anyone that you like. We did have a question from one of the participants earlier today about whether this app is available to people who are not connected to KU, and the answer is yes. The app is available to anyone who finds a use for it, interest in it, a need for it, whatever. We are committed to sharing all the information and resources that we can. So please do share it with anybody that you think might find it helpful. If you need captioning, I think someone has just found it. If you need closed captioning, click on the CC button at the bottom of your screen, and you'll be able to have the captions running while we visit today. And I think that's it for announcements. Oh, also, please use the chat if you have questions or comments, and I'll help Rosie by watching that as she demonstrates the app. So with that being said, our speaker for today is Rosie Pasqualini, who many of you are quite familiar with. She is the LEAP program assistant and is a frequent presenter on our weekly webinars, for which we are always grateful. Rosie always brings information that is educational, informative, useful, everything. So we are so glad that she has in her bag of tricks the ability to demonstrate an app. And we are so excited to introduce you all to the Dementia CareAssist app. This is something that has been, I won't call it a labor of love, because I think the group who worked on it put all their hearts into it, wanting to make sure that people who are caregivers, in particular of someone with dementia and encountering mood and behavioral challenges, have an easy to use, easy to understand resource to turn to. And so it's been in print form for a while, and now we are excited to share it with you in a very modern, up-to-date, technologically savvy way. And so Rosie is here to do that for us. So Rosie, I'm going to turn it over to you. And as Rosie presents, I'm going to put some links in the chat for those of you who have just joined, so you'll see how you can find the app and use it either on your smart device or online. So Rosie, thank you.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Kelly. I'm very much looking forward to demonstrating the app. I also just wanted to give a shout out to Hunter Hines and Charunya Pula for helping to develop the app. They put a whole lot of work into it, and I believe they are both here right now. So thank you very much, both of you, and we really appreciate all your hard work in developing this resource. Okay, so I am going to share my screen on my phone, so bear with me for just a second. Share screen. All right, looks like it is working. This will likely be a bit of a shorter presentation, but we will have plenty of time for questions at the end if you have any specific questions about how the app works or its features. And you are also welcome to email us at kuadrc@kumc.edu. That's our main email address with any questions. So I'm going to talk a bit about, first of all, how to download the Dementia CareAssist app and then how to start using it. Just to reiterate, this is a mobile version of the Guide to Mood and Behavioral Changes in Dementia that was created by Michelle Needens here at the ADRC. She is a licensed clinical specialist social worker, if I got that correctly, and she created this great comprehensive guide discussing potential mood and behavioral challenges and changes that may occur in moderate stages of dementia of different types, and ways to help address those if that would be appropriate, as well as some contributing factors to help to understand what could be causing some of those behaviors. So if we want to get started downloading this app, this will look a bit different if you're on the App Store on iPhone, or if you're using an Android device. It is available for both. But as you can see, I'm on an iPhone, and I'm going to go ahead and open up the App Store here. And in order to find the app, I can type in Dementia CareAssist. Please note that CareAssist is actually one word, so you want to make sure that's correct so that you can find our app. You can see here that because it's already downloaded for me, it says open, and I can use that button to open the app. But typically, if you have not yet downloaded it, you will see a get button, like that random app that's underneath it, and you can tap on get in order to download it. So once it has downloaded, you can totally open it from the App Store if you want. But what will typically happen, of course, is that if I return sort of to my app library here, you can see in the upper right-hand corner, we have that app icon that is a brain made of puzzle pieces with a little heart. And I can tap on that in order to open the application. This is the home page of the app. You'll see at the top, you can use that button to access the guide, which is the core part of this whole app, but you'll also see some other helpful resources in the rest of this page. So you can use the button underneath to connect with us to learn more about the ADRC in general, and that does link to an external web page, so it will open in a browser window on your phone. Same for the research opportunities. And then I'll quickly show you some preferences you can change for the app with that button that's the second from the bottom. So if I select preferences, you likely won't be fiddling with this too much, but you can turn off and on the active use of internet that allows for the material in the app to be updated immediately when it is updated. So excuse me, that was a bad sentence. But when the material is updated, if this is on, that updated information will download automatically to your phone. And that is on by default, but you're welcome to turn it off. In addition, you can reduce the motion for all of this app if you would rather not have the animations, the pages swiping and stuff, because some people would prefer not to have those. And there's just a little bit more information about the app, as well as the option to reset it. So I can use the back button to navigate through this app at any time and go to the previous page. You'll find that in the lower right-hand corner. So I'm going to hit that right now. And now to really get into what the app is about, if I tap on the button that says Guide for Mood and Behavioral Challenges at the top, here we have opened the guide. And you'll see that in the instructions, the app tells us that we can either search for a specific topic, a specific change, or we can explore one of these needs by choosing one of these common changes or challenges. And then we'll be able to both explore potential contributors or interventions for those challenges. And I will show you how to do that. So if I just scroll down a little bit on this page, first we have a pretty succinct, we have some information about dementia, some general background information about how it can present that can be very helpful as one begins to use this app. So you can tap on that to learn more about dementia specifically. And beneath that, if we tap on the box that says common mood and behavioral challenges, I have now opened a very comprehensive list of some of the different challenges that may manifest, especially in moderate stage dementia. So first, you will see a bit of additional information about these challenges in general, and feel free to peruse that by tapping any part. But now if we scroll down, we can also see some of these different behaviors or challenges listed, and we can start learning about them. So for instance, let's say that I want to learn about repetitious questioning. I can go ahead and tap on that. And what I'll find is some information about this specific issue. I can scroll down and explore that. And right underneath, as you will see, some contributing factors will appear. So these are some factors that can contribute to this issue in general, and you will see this for every change that is listed. And what's important to note here is that some, though not all of the contributors, will have even more information and then interventions listed. So for example, if I tap on overstimulation, I can now find some specific interventions for that contributing factor that can be used to help address that initial behavior of repetitious questioning. And as I said before, I can navigate using that back button in the lower right-hand corner. So now we're back to repetitious questioning. And then if I hit back again, we are back here at our mood and behavioral challenges. Another interesting thing to note is if I return to repetitious questioning, some of the different items here are linked in very sort of interesting ways, where if I select a contributor that is actually also a mood and behavioral challenge, it will take me to the whole information page for that challenge. So depression is also listed as a mood and behavioral challenge, but if I tap it as a contributor, it takes me to that whole page for this mood and behavioral challenge. So you can see all these interesting linkages between those initial challenges, then the contributors and the interventions. And these are really comprehensively linked throughout the entire app. So as I said, we can use the back button to navigate back. And we can also use the home button to navigate all the way back home to that first page. So that is the first way to explore some of those challenges. But another option is to search for them directly. So if we want to open up that guide again, I can tap it again. And let's say I'm like, oh, I want to learn about repetitious questioning. I'm curious about it. I can go to the top of the screen, tap on the search bar, and I can begin to type it in. And then I can select repetitious questioning as a search result. And from there, we see the same information that was presented before, as well as those contributing factors. And then we can explore those to discover our interventions for that challenge. Okay, so that was an overview of sort of how the guide is structured, how to explore a specific challenge, either by using that blue box or by typing directly. And that is how the app works. We hope that this will be a very helpful resource. Thank you again so much for those who developed this app, and feel free to let us know right now or via email if you have any questions.
Thank you, Rosie. You make it look so easy. And I believe it is. And I think this will be such a priceless tool for anybody who finds themselves in need of it. And Valerie in the chat agrees. This is a fantastic supportive tool. Thank you, Valerie. Does anybody have questions or comments or things you'd like to talk about in our time together? Got some more comments in the chat about it seeming easy to navigate and very easy to use. Rosie, can you talk a bit about how the app or the information from the app is available online if people are not smartphone users?
Yes, absolutely. So as we said, this information is basically taken verbatim from the Mood and Behavioral Guide developed by Michelle Needens. And there is a link in the chat to access it via PDF. The cool thing about that guide as well is that it is also clickable. So while it can be accessed from your computer and it still is a PDF, you're able to click on certain challenges as well and then look at the contributors and interventions. So it's somewhat similar to the app, but in a PDF form, of course. So definitely recommend checking that out as well, just in general, or if you would rather access it on your computer.
And I would just add, last week at the weekly webinar, Michelle did give an overview of how to use the Mood and Behavioral Guide online. So if you weren't here last week and you want to check out that recording, definitely feel free to do that.
Thanks, Tina.
How do you get the app? You can do it. It is posted online right now. So you can go to our website or use any of the links in your MyAlliance email to get to last week's webinar. And hopefully you all can hear me better. Thanks for the request to change my sound. There's a question in the chat, Rosie. Are there any features in the app for tracking specific behaviors over time?
That is a great question, and I think that would be an excellent feature. That's not a feature right now, but could certainly be something we could think about adding in the future.
Okay, I'm going to write it down and pass that on to Michelle and her crew. So anybody from the CCN, if you also will take note of that particular question for adding that feature to the app, I think we can probably talk about making that happen. And I know that our two app gurus, Hunter and Tarunya, hopefully you're on here because you're probably the real ones that can help us figure out how to update the app for adding that particular feature. Okay. I think we have made it, I hope we've made it very clear in all of the information we have about the app that there's not any cost to use the app or to download the app. So whether you're using an iPhone or an Android or just clicking the link for the PDF on our website, there's never going to be anybody with their hand out saying you have to pay to use this. If you see that, you're not using the right app. So just make sure that you know that this app is something that we are sharing with anybody who needs it for as long as they need it. And I suppose that if and when there are updates, the App Store will let you know that those are available. Is that right, Rosie? Thank you. Okay. Oh, also, for anyone who might be curious about this or know someone who would find this useful, the app will be available in Spanish coming up soon. And so we want to make sure folks know that and can find it useful and have that tool. So we'll let you know as soon as we have that available when you can access it. De nada, Rosa, who says gracias, gracias. The name of the app again, Rosie. Will you unmute yourself, please, and say the name of the app? Oh, you already put it
Yeah,
in.
so it's
Thank you.
it's Dementia CareAssist, and CareAssist is one word.
And I would also add, not only will the app be available in Spanish soon, but the guide online will also be available in Spanish as well. So everything that we have in English with the guide will also be available in Spanish. So we're working on that currently.
Okay.
Um,
Let's see.
Someone added some suggestions for additional tracking functionalities. Yes, that I think that would be great, and that's something we could definitely talk about. Yes, it's the same name for Android.
All right. Any other questions or comments, or are you all just wishing we'd end this so you can go download the app and check it out for yourselves? That is okay if that's what you want. I put in the chat a few times the link for the download and the link to look at the PDF for those of you who might have come in after we put it in before. So check out the chat if you'd like to click on one of those links and or have our email address to ask your questions after today or at any time. So check that out. All right, folks. Rosie has also created a video separate from today's webinar with essentially the same information that she showed on the webinar, but without, my commentary and all that other stuff in between. So if you want to just get to the good part and see the demonstration, Rosie did a video for us and we will post that on our website, I think, and maybe our YouTube channel. We'll make sure you have it available so that you can watch it again. And when you do that, you'll have the benefit of, I think, pausing so you can pay attention to what's happening, and you can probably rewind or you won't want to fast forward. But anyway, you'll be able to have those instructions right there at your fingertips beyond watching the webinar again, although you will also be able to watch the webinar. Okay.
Where do you?
And I'm sure, Kelly, you'll put that link in My Alliance newsletter for next week as well.
Absolutely will. Remember how a lot of last year we had links to how you could watch why? Well, this year, at least for a bit, we will have links on how to get the Dementia Care Assist app. So there will be no excuse. You will not be able to say, if only I could find that app, because it will be right there at your fingertips. We'll have the link to the how to download it and how to get to the PDF in the next issue of My Alliance, which comes out on Monday, the 12th. Just a few days from now. I know we're all excited to get to Monday, or most of us are probably excited. I'm not going to say a specific reason, but I'll just angle my camera down a little bit. So by Monday, You all will probably have the app. We will hopefully all be celebrating. It's going to be a great week for everybody. And so since we do have a little time, I'll chat with you a bit about our next webinar. Next Thursday, February 15th, is One Day, 1KU. It's a very exciting day for all of us here. Many of you who get our emails probably got an email today about One Day, 1KU. And of course, we are committed to providing information for you and supporting you every day of the year. But particularly on One Day, 1KU, we make some concerted effort to do that. So we'll have more information about that in Monday's My Alliance newsletter. And our speaker next week is Patty Gardney, who has been a family caregiver and who I believe was our speaker around the same time last year. So it's beginning kind of an annual tradition. We have Patty Garney come and talk about caregiving. We release new information about programs that can support you. The Chiefs go to the Super Bowl. I mean, February is a good month. Okay. So next week, Patty Garney will join us, and she's thinking about sharing some of her experiences and also opening herself up to any questions that you might have. So you might think over the next week any questions you have about caregiving. I don't know if Patty's used the app yet, but we'll make sure she knows about it. And she can weigh in on how helpful and wonderful it is because she has to say that. Okay, so Patty will be with us next Thursday for One Day, 1KU. And we're very excited to have her and to talk about that very special day. And again, we'll have more information about that in the My Alliance newsletter that comes out on Monday morning. And hopefully we will all be sleeping in from having had a great Sunday evening. But you'll get it on Monday. I promise. You'll get the My Alliance newsletter on Monday with all kinds of great information. Okay. All right. Thank you, Kelton, for the comments in the chat. I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, thank you for that. And I'll do one last call for comments or questions, anything you want to ask about the app, or I guess we could do a very quick ask me anything sort of thing. If you have any questions about what's going on at the ADRC or research or things you might be interested in, we have a little bit of time. Feel free to do that. Otherwise, enjoy this unseasonably nice February weather. Rosie, you have something.
Oh, I was just going to say, not to put anyone on the spot, but if there are specific questions for our awesome developers, now would also be a good time for that, because I know that they're here and that it was a lot of work. So we really appreciate it.
How do you download the app?
How do you download the app? Leon, you're not the only one who wants to know, I'm sure. So Rosie, can you give another kind of run through about that, please?
Sure. So depending on the device you're using, it may be slightly different, but you should have an app store, either on your iPhone or your Android device, and you can open up that store. You can type in Dementia CareAssist. And once you have searched that in the App Store, you can click the button that says Get. And once you've done that, it will start downloading to your app library.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kelly also added, we have sort of this infographic about how to download it that has instructions that are slightly more specific to whether you're using an iPhone or an Android device, that she has put in the chat. So that could be useful as well.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Well, I think we will wrap up for today a little bit early. You can have 6 minutes of your day back. Thank you for spending time with us. Please let us know what you think about the app. If there's some questions or feedback that you want to give us about how to use it, we are open to those. I do see a question from Barbara in the chat. I had to reach the Zoom webinar through Facebook, I think it's FB. Is there another way in? And Barbara, we send out in our My Alliance newsletter every Monday the link to the webinar, and here is a secret that I will now reveal to you all. The link for the Zoom is the same every week. I know. You thought we were over here typing away, coming up with new combinations of letters and numbers, but we are not. It's always the same. So if you have any link to the webinar ever from at least 2023 or 2024 at 2 o'clock on Thursday, you can click on that link and you will be in the webinar. Okay. I've revealed too much now. That being said, that comes out on Mondays in the My Alliance newsletter. On Thursdays at 10 o'clock, you also should get a reminder with that same link. And if you are not already getting the My Alliance newsletter, go to joinmyalliance.com and sign up so that you too can be in the in crowd. Although getting the link from our Facebook page is also a really easy way. You don't have to remember anything except to go to Facebook and get the link. So that's another way that you can do that. And speaking of Facebook, I mean, here's a shameless plug. Check out our webpage or our Facebook page, facebook.com/KUADRC. We are doing some fun Black History Month celebration this month. And my colleague, Uriel Garcia, who is our social media guru, he and I just had a really fun conversation about music and Black History Month. And I'm not going to say anything else. Go check it out when he gets it posted. And we are asking folks to chime in on what their favorite music of any kind might be. So there you go. You're welcome, Barbara. I hope that helped. And now you have 4 minutes left, unless anybody else has any other questions. I am not ever at a loss for words, so I mean, I can run with this.
Kelly,
Jane says checking her store but not seeing the app. Jane, let us know if you have an Android or an iPhone.
Kelly, will you also talk about how people can find past recorded
I would love
weekly
to.
webinars through YouTube?
Okay. Jane says she has an Android, so hang on, Jane. I'll get Rosie to answer that. If you want to see any of the recordings of the webinar, I don't typically make New Year's resolutions, but the one that I did make for this year was to make the webinar available within 24 hours, like I say I will in the My Alliance newsletter. And so far this year, if you have noticed, it has been available. So every Friday, you can go to our website, kualzheimer.org, and click on the weekly webinar link, and you will see the current webinar plus a link to view past webinars. You can also go to our YouTube channel, search for KUADRC on YouTube, and you will see a playlist of all of our webinars. So those are 2 easy ways to get to the past recordings. And in fact, when I finally finish talking today, I'm going to upload this one. So it will be there shortly. You might notice I'm working from the KU office today. So I've got some super fast, wonderful internet. So I should be able to upload this video pretty quickly. And then Tina has put in the chat a link to our YouTube channel. Thank you, Tina. Now, Rosie, can you please talk to Jane about the
So
Android store?
if you're not seeing it in the store, one thing would be just to make sure that you're typing out dementia and then CareAssist as one word. But if there could be an issue depending on the version of your phone, what I can do is connect you with Hunter Hines via email, since it may require slightly longer discussion, and we could investigate if there's a reason why it's specifically not showing up on your device. So I can definitely do that.
Very good. All right. Wow, my goodness. At our height today, we had 54 folks online and we still have 27, even though we said you could go frolic in the sunshine. So thank you to all of you committed folks for staying on and listening through all this time. I guess I'll say one last call for any comments or questions, and then we will wrap up for now. And we'll be ready for One Day, 1KU next Thursday, February 15th, and hopefully we will all be in a very celebratory mood that day. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a great week. Take care.
Bye-bye, thanks.